Hey, I mentioned about aliens and alien communication. Ooh, those goofy crop circles come to mind. I haven't heard anything about them lately. To me, that's all voodoo. But they're very pretty. They're beautiful, those crop circles. I guess it started in England. I guess their tourism must have been down. And once they came about, the whole world copied them. And when you do something like that, you get instant tourism, an instant tourism attraction, sort of like the Loch Ness Monster and Sasquatch. And by the way, are those two creatures the same? Sort of like Superman and Clark Kent. You never see them in the same room or the same forest or lake. Yeah, I noticed that.
You're trying to compare the Loch Ness and Sasquatch. Why would you see them in the same place? One is supposed to be in a lake.
Well, that's why I said forest and or lake. They're amphibious.
And you're talking here as if you know you're an expert on crop circles.
I never said I was an expert. Did I ever, board guy, did I play back the tape? Did I ever say I was an expert?
No, but
I'm an expert at nothing.
No, but what I'm saying is a few weeks ago I brought up to you the subject of crop circles, and you go, "What's that?" And now you're on here and you're talking like you know what you're talking about.
Oh, I must have forgotten temporarily. That must Oh, he's rewinding. I thought that was the sound of a crop circle. But he's replaying the tape. I am an expert. I am an expert. Oh, there it was. You were right. The book says, you got to be careful about this bogus stuff. The book says, you shall not spread a false report. Avoid irreverent babble, for it will lead people into more and more ungodliness. You think about that, Mr. Crop Circle believer.
One thing that we have to realize in life is that for everything that God has created and done for us, that there's a counterfeit. So when we talk about, all this other paranormal stuff, I believe a lot of that stuff is the work of the devil.
I agree, and although you do believe in crop circles, I think, last time we talked about it. But to me, it's just irreverent babble, like the book says. To me, the crop circles are crop babbles. And two guys admitted doing that, in England. They even demonstrated with like a long stick and rope. Very high tech, evidently. It kind of looked like a walker to me, if you guys know what I'm talking about. That stick and the way he took one step at a time very deliberately. It was like an old-fashioned walker. But needless to say, or it is not need. Why did I say needless to say? It is needed. It's a farce.
You're your own worst enemy sometimes.
No, you are. Go ahead.
Well, just that, there's so many different things that we could utilize our resources in life on a daily basis for that could be constructive, and that is to pray ceaselessly and to become closer with God every day of our lives. That should be our goal.
Well, the crop circles evidently are for the aliens to communicate with us, evidently. But if that's even true, who's going to translate? Is there a conversion book? I mean, who deciphers what the aliens are going to say? You're going to have some nutcake decipher it, and he'll say something like, well, the aliens are saying you must impeach Trump immediately and replace him with Cher, or the earth will be attacked tomorrow. I mean, that's like insane in the membrane stuff that comes from this nonsense. I'm going to make a crop circle in my backyard, and then I'm going to alert the media.
Well, it would be refreshing just to find out that you would actually set your feet down in your backyard, because I know you don't cut the grass yourself.
I don't, but we don't have time for that. It's a big yard.
That's another whole program.
I got back issues. Are you implying something?
Just leave it for what it's...
I cut grass all my life, and for my parents, I'd rather not do it anymore. Is that a problem?
And that took 2 minutes?
No. It's a big yard. You feel good about yourself. You glow when you give me shots. You really do.
Well, I had to, kind of reverse the tables a little bit from the words I gave to you earlier to compliment, to kind of bring it back down to earth.
Like a balance. But I got to tell you, the crop circles and all this other nonsense, it's easy to create and make up false beliefs without proof. To sell a story for money. Although, now that I think about it, I'm sure people accuse the Bible of just that, like a false story. And you know what? It's your prerogative to believe that if you want. It's my prerogative to believe that it's the inspired word of God. We speculate. Those shows, those alien shows, those documentaries, they speculate and they use conjecture all the times. If you've heard them, you remember these phrases. Could it be? And they talk about aliens. Is it possible? It's all nonsense. It's fantasy. They're creating fantasy and fiction. Hey, Fantasy Island, that ended years ago. Why do we keep trying to recreate it in our lives? Hello, everybody. I'm Mr. Rourke. Welcome to Fantasy Island.